Matas Buzelis, is he the face of the Chicago Bulls? Casey Johnson seems to think so. We're going to talk about the talented young player and his chance to be the face of the Chicago Bulls. Also, no more suitors out there for Nikola Vucevic and Quentin Grimes to the Chicago Bulls rumors. We'll talk about it all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. That's Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Winning City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. Today's episode is brought to you guys by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year.
Oh, we got beef on that one, dog.
We
We got beef on that one, dog.
I said, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Hey.
12 minutes went by. You weren't here, so I started the show.
Here on the screen. I walked
Your seat was on the screen. You weren't there.
I literally had just walked upstairs. You had to see me.
I did not. I did not see you at all. I came in here. I texted you. Didn't get a response to the text. I said, all right, he'll be here.
Oh, this that stuff right here, dog.
Hey, listen, you show up on CP time, this is what happens. No, I mean, I figured you'd show up before the start of the show. What's going on, Pat?
Nothing much, man.
Hey, all right. So I'll put this topic first because I knew this was going to be. This is something that you've touched on and talked about a little bit for a while. When Casey Johnson said it, I was like, "Yep, this is a Pat topic."
Yeah.
Casey Johnson calling Matas Buzelis the face of the Chicago Bulls, talking about how he's all over the social media right now, how he's taking the leadership role for the rookies because, of course, he lives in Chicago, so he's been here to help kind of show the rookies around, things like that. Now, I think it's two separate things, right? Casey Johnson's talking about the face of the Bulls right now, so our social media marketing, that type of thing. I still think he has a lot he needs to do on the court before we can talk about him being the face of the team on the court. But how do you feel about that?
Listen, I think it's what the Bulls want. They probably asked it of him. You know, we feel like you have an opportunity to be the face of this team. And Matas was like, yeah, I already said that. I thought we were doing that halfway through the season. I mean, listen, you know, the focal point, and the Bulls are looking for a young rookie or a young player who can be that guy that they can build around moving forward. Matas Buzelis being from here does make it a little bit easier. And you know, always being in the city makes it a little bit easier, especially like you said, when the rookies are coming in and stuff like that. You always can call on Matas. You could call Io as well, but like it was obvious with how they were building things this offseason that the Bulls do feel like, and I think we just have to see it play out on the court, right? But like the Bulls do feel like Matas is going to be one of those players that is going to have a massive step in the second year. And with the moves that they've made this offseason, it feels like they're just trying to kind of circumvent some of the other things that he may have to worry about. All right, we got some concerns on the defensive end. Usually the face of your franchise is the guy you want playing the most defense, unless it's Trae Young because he's terrible. Those are the moments where, okay, we got Isaac Okoro in the building. Trae Young's not a good basketball player. Nobody talks about it. We bring in Isaac Okoro for the one-on-one defensive matchups that may get a little tough, right? Or, you know, that may cause you to take a step in the wrong direction. Like there's so many things that I feel that the Bulls have added to this team to try and make Matas's life easier. And how they've kind of changed some things around and changed roles for him already in his rookie season. I mean, Patrick Williams was the starter and the bench player. Now, maybe Patrick Williams played a big part in his own demise there, but it didn't take long for them to go, yeah, this is kind of over. Let's move him out the way and just put Matas in that spot. So I do think the Bulls want Matas to be the face of the franchise. Now, is he there now? I get it, right? The social media, like Casey brings up, you got to play it out on the court, right? You can't be the franchise and not be the best player on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's all fine and dandy to have the conversation of like I mean, much like Joakim Noah was a face of the team, Derrick Rose was our best player, but Joe was the person you was going to put in marketing that you was going to put out to meet fans and kids because Derrick Rose would just stood there and looked at people.
Derrick did a lot of standing and looking, bro. They sent him out there as well.
They sent him him there, but Derek was in the back. Like, I mean, when it came to on the basketball, he'll show a kid how to shoot. But if you talking about interacting, hanging out, he was just like, now he's different that he's had kids. Once you have kids, you're a little bit different there. But Joe was the big kid the whole time. But yeah, and it's good to have Modest in his personality. Modest's personality is, we've talked about that. Like that's why people have the belief that Modest can be great in this league, because not only does he have the personality, but he has the work ethic, he has the desire, he has the drive to push himself to be great. And so we'll see how that shakes out for the Chicago Bulls over the time and how Modest. But to quote a great coach, if you want to crown him, go ahead and crown him. I need to see a little bit more on the court before I could say he's the face of the team on the court, so to say. But I think he'll get there. How many years away? I think this is a great. How many years away do you think we are from Modest potentially being the best player for the Chicago Bulls on the court?
Next year.
You think it happened as soon as about the end?
Listen. The Matas Buzelis was really good on 10 shots a game, basically.
Yeah, he was.
Like, really good. Like, it was. Now there were ups and downs, right? There were the 3-point shot would come and go. I don't know if that's going to be here or not.
It was a lot more gone than it. Than it was here.
There was the one game where he went. What did he go? He went like 6 for 10 or something.
Yeah,
like
bro,
that.
it was crazy. Yeah.
Hey, and then it was pretty much all he had. But the thing about Modest's game last season was he was incredibly efficient at the rim. He did an excellent job with body positioning when people tried to take that away from him. I thought the handle was one that, if anything shocked you last season, I don't know if you're like me, the handle surprised me. I knew he could handle the basketball. I didn't think he was mixing mugs up handling the basketball.
Yeah. I mean, he has solid enough ball handling for his position. It's like you don't need him to be out there being a guard, but he has solid ball handling. I did like the last few games of the regular season, like the last 3 or 4 games where we did get to see him do more ball handling and more point forward type stuff. Yeah. And I wonder if that's going to be how they get him more touches this year, especially with Giddey and Kobe, especially Kobe, coming off screens and stuff like that. Maybe you can work Modest having that, but when you have guards like Kobe and Josh Giddey who create off drives, there's not going to be a lot of opportunity to point forward things, but I would like to see them get him a little bit more opportunities to do that.
Here's what I think is going to be very interesting this season, right? Because we always talk about the role change that Kobe White is going through and stuff like that. Are people going to be open to role changes again? Because I think Matas Buzelis is going to go from 10 shots a game to probably about 17 a game.
I don't think he's going to see that leap, not in year 2. I mean, this is where we differed with Modest a lot as far as like how is it going to go with him in year 2? I think Modest is going to go from about 9.7 shots per game. I think go up from that to about 12, as I think what you're going to see in year 2, maybe a little bit more towards the end of the season, but I wouldn't be surprised if we settle in at about 12 shots per game. And I think that's going to be, I think we're going to start seeing Modest be the stagger guy. I think we're going to see a lot of Modest out there with the bench unit, and that's where he's going to get his opportunity to do a little bit more as far as shot creation there. But I don't think you're going to see almost a double of the number of shots that he had last.
I think this young man is about to become the focal point of the Chicago Bulls offense. I think that is the plan for him this season. That
he has to show that he can shoot a lot better before he can become the focal point, my boy.
Listen, there's a lot.
30% is not. You can't be the focal point.
Yeah, but the difference is that he's 6'10". You know what I mean? It can be a lot of stuff around the basket. It can be a lot of get him going towards the rim. It can be, and the thing about Modest is also a good enough passer that if he's driving in, the driving kick could be very deadly. Now, the part where that may block that early on, and I don't know when we're going to see anything on this, and we'll talk about this in the next topic as well, is if Nikola Vucevic is on this team, he's in the way. So that could change kind of the shot pattern for Modest. But I think the focal point, like, to see him get shots up and to see him be the guy that you can build a team around, it feels to me like that's what the Bulls want to do. I don't think that you would take shots away from him or try and just keep him as a piece of the offense. I feel like this season they're going to try and force feed him a little bit and be like, hey, listen, you want these shots? You want to be the face? Go prove you're the best player out there. And Modest don't shy away from the
that's not really Billy Donovan's style. Billy Donovan's going to rely on veterans. I think Josh and Kobe still going to get the lion's share of the shots, but we'll see. I mean, I'm not mad at it. If they look at it and say, all right, we're about to see if you can sink or swim, young fella, I'm not mad at that. I just don't foresee that happening under Billy Donovan. I think Billy Donovan's going to have a lot more structure built around his veterans. I think Vooch is still going to get his 12 shots per game. I think Kobe's going to still be the number one option on offense. I do think they're gonna find ways to get, because when you look at what we've added, it's a bunch of defensive players. Isaac Guru's going to be fine shooting threes. Even Noah Essengate, if he gets in the game, he's not going to be an offensive weapon. We're definitely not running a bunch of plays for Dalen. So it comes down to how much is Kevin Huerter part of the offense, those type of things, and how well Matas Buzelis is better at shooting. Everything last year for Buzelis was either 3-point or at the rim. And as long as Vooch is on here, you're not going to run a lot for him at the rim either. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm open for whatever. I'm down if that's what happens. If you're right and they get him up to 17 shots per game, great. Billy Donovan-isms, I don't see it.
I think this is the difference. I don't think we'll ever see him again. And what we saw second half of the season with him, and we got to get to this next topic about Vooch as well. What we saw second half of the season with him is a lot of games where you still have 5 shots a game in there. Yeah, you got some 8 shots a game, 7 shots a game. I don't think we'll see any of them. I don't think there's a game that Matas Buzelis leaves without taking double-digit shots next season.
You willing to place a wager on that?
I mean, that he'll never take single-digit shots? Yeah. What are we throwing on that? A little steak?
Yeah,
you want to get in on steak dinner?
Everybody steak dinner on that.
Wants steak dinners from Pat.
Yeah, we'll throw a steak dinner on that. But all right, next up, we're going to continue the conversation. We're going to be talking about Nikola Vucevic, and are there any more suitors out there for Vooch? First, we got to get into a message from Monarch Money. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending all in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. Me, for example, lot of money spent on merch here around the Johnson household, but I was able to use Monarch Money to budget my merch purchases to where I could still get them and save money at the same time. And that was because of Monarch Money. If you're also balancing an account with a loved one, you can also track personal and shared accounts as well, all in one place, so you have complete visibility over your finances. Take control over your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
It's too late now. Don't do that.
I pressed it. It didn't. It is what.
No, I'd be doing that sometimes. Sometimes it just don't fire it.
It's like, okay. All right. I see what we're doing. A little premature there.
Jay. Okay.
But with that said, Nikola Vucevic, DeAndre Ayton to the Lakers, as we have seen. It seems like the Golden State Warriors, one of the previous suitors that we just talked about yesterday that could have an interest in Nikola Vucevic, is circling now around Al Horford because of the fact that he's low usage, focuses on defense, can still get you some buckets when you need, but doesn't need to have offense necessarily called for him. Seems like they are now pivoting towards Al Horford. Pat, suitors are drying up there. The Boston Celtics AS are still a possibility there, even though we aren't happy with the rumored deal in that case. But it's shaping up that Vooch is going to be in a Bulls uniform. And I think me and you've been telling people that was the most likely scenario for about 90 days now.
Yeah.
90 days.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Listen, have the conversation with him now. Don't. You know what you want to do. You know you want to go to one of these other guys, or I shouldn't say that. You want to go to more of a spaced out offense. Vooch isn't a good in that. He's not a part of that. Have the conversation with him now. Say, listen, you're going to still be the starter. There's going to be times on the floor where you ain't out there. Prepare him for it now, because otherwise it's going to. The one thing I don't want this to turn into is it gets ugly at the end. Vooch has been nothing but a professional. He's been. I know a lot of people hate on him, but he's been nothing but consistent in a Chicago Bulls uniform. The thing that people hate on him about is his defense. He didn't play defense in Orlando. He didn't play defense in Philly. He's never played defense. He's a European big.
I tell you, when they looked at the Nikola Vucevic trade, the last thing that they were thinking is, hey, how good defense you think he's going to be?
You know what I mean, bro? Bro must be talking about Vooch. Like, he's supposed to be out here just killing. He gave you 18 and 10 last year from an offensive perspective. I don't think there were many games that he didn't give you 10 rebounds last season. I don't think there were many games where he felt like he was just completely out of position. Vooch does his best that he can on the defensive end, and he always seems to try and find his way to fit in offensively. It's just not the direction the team wants to go anymore. So have the conversation with him now. Because the one thing I don't want is for this to get ugly. And by the end of it, it is we're ready to move on from Vooch because the relationship has soured versus, his time here has been fine. Am I going to say it's been great? No, but it's been fine. He's
come in and he's done everything that the Bulls basically traded him to do. Do you know he's like top 10 in the Bulls scoring all time list?
Yeah.
He's top 10 scoring all time.
You don't have many players.
Yeah, he's like top 8 in rebounding all time. He did that in like 5 years. Like Vooch is statistically one of the best Bulls of all time. Like send him out. Like here's the thing though, Pat. If they can't find a suitor for him at the deadline, and the Bulls do find a new young next center, I completely expect them to be like, Vooch, we got 2 years, $12 million for you, and him to come back. This may not be the last season of Vooch in the Bulls.
Here's my thing. I'm fine with Vooch becoming the vet off the bench. Like, I'm fine with Vooch going through that progression here. I don't have the problem that a lot of people have with Nikola Vucevic. People look at Vooch and they're expecting defense from, he's got to be this elite defender. You know how many bigs in this NBA aren't elite defenders? Yeah. I can name you more bigs that aren't elite defenders than are elite defenders. It's not where the NBA is at. They've gone towards a big that is more offensively focused.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the bottom line. Who are the elite defensive bigs in the league right now? Chet? Throw Chet on there. Give me, I guess, Gobert by default, even though he get cooked a lot.
He gets cooked in one-on-one, but a lot. He's there. Jaren Jackson Jr.
He can't be in the fourth quarter, but you are correct.
In the fourth quarter, right? Elite. Are we putting Poto up there? I wouldn't say elite. He's good defensively. I wouldn't necessarily call it elite.
He's good. Listen, at this point, good is elite defensively.
Okay. Poto. I know there's more. I didn't prepare for this question. I know there got to be more than that.
Let's see the NBA starting centers. Although I guess Drummond is Drummond. No,
Drummond's not elite anymore. He's not elite. Embiid when healthy.
My point is that the expectation, I guess AD when healthy.
Oh, AD, absolutely. How
Wemby.
Yeah.
And Jared Allen.
Jared Allen, definitely. You could put Mobley up there too.
Yeah.
Mobley's definitely up there.
And Bam.
Bam's definitely 100% for Bam.
It's 10.
Okay.
There's 32 teams.
Gafford? Are we putting Gafford up there? You said good as elite.
Yeah, I throw Gafford in there. Gafford had an elite run. People forget Gafford had a really elite run. Yeah, Jalen Duren. Yeah.
All right, we're 12, 13?
Yeah, 12.
Okay. Almost half. We got almost there.
But my point is, your best big, Nikola Jokic.
Elite defensively?
No, not barely even good.
I was about to say, barely passable.
Joel Embiid.
When healthy, he's really good. When healthy, he's really
when last couple seasons, Embiid fell off defensively.
The problem is that he's never healthy. I think his defensive metrics are still amazing though when he's on the court.
Sabonis.
Fuck.
He didn't get the full word out.
I didn't get it all out, but no.
Can stay. He didn't get the full word out.
No. Sabonis? Nah.
But that's what I mean. Like as we go through like the best bigs in the league, none of them are freaking these elite defenders. So Vooch being on this team, I said all that to say Vooch being on this team as we're nearing the end of his career doesn't bother me like it bothers some people because you brought him here to be exactly what he's been. Now, you did bring him here to be a better three-point shooter than he has been, and that has been the letdown that I think I can't move past. But you also didn't put him in the same position where he was shooting the three at that elite level, which was let him operate out of the paint, and then he goes out there and knocks down the three. Yeah, it took Billy Donovan 4 seasons to finally do that.
Yeah.
Last season, when they did it, guess what Nikola Vucevic shot from the three-point line? 40%.
Exactly. And that's the thing is like Billy Donovan really did try to make Vooch some elite three-point shooter when he was here. It's like that was never his game. So it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not mad at Vooch being here. It's not the most egregious thing. I do think we have some problems with interior paint defense.
Yes.
But if you have better perimeter defense, it can help your paint defense a little bit. And I think we've done a little job about that. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening in the long run, man. But as far as this team right now, I mean, this rumor that popped up, Haize, I was like, how did we get here? Like, you ever like, right?
We'll talk about it.
You ever be driving and you thinking about something real hard and you zone out?
Yeah.
And you like snap back to and realize you're driving and you've passed like 96 exits and you're like, how the F did I get here?
Absolutely.
What happened on this? That's how we got to this Quentin Grimes room. We got to talk about that coming up next. I hit the wrong one. Yeah, man.
It is what it is.
Throw another one in there. There you go. It's a rough day for the breaks.
The editor today is crazy. Nick doesn't watch the video. He listens to the podcast.
He's on the podcast side. Yeah. The only reason he knows something wrong with the video is because we make fun of him talking about us.
Yeah, and then he goes and looks at it.
Then he goes and looks at it.
But with that said, Quentin Grimes rumor popped up in the last 12 hours in regards to the Chicago Bulls. If they cannot get a deal with Giddey, they could pivot towards Quentin Grimes. Pat, I get it that we do this job. We've seen a lot of stupid Bulls rumors from time to time, but something is not like the other here, right? Josh Giddey, Quentin Grimes, Josh Giddey to Quentin. How do you go from Josh Giddey to say, oh, you're not going to resign her? Cool. Quentin, you're next up.
Now, that I can understand. The confusing part is Quentin Grimes popping up, but in Philly, right? So essentially what would end up happening is Kobe White becomes the point guard.
Yeah, Kobe White goes back to the point guard. Quentin Grimes goes to go to shoot guard. That's actually some decent size there and a backcourt together. But the thing is this, to me, Pat, is that Quentin Grimes has had that people doubt the stretch that Josh Giddey had from February to the end of the season.
Yeah.
We're talking about 18 games of literally nobody else. Everybody was dead in Philly. McCain was gone, Embiid was gone, Paul George was gone, Maxey was gone. Everybody was dead. Somebody had to take the shots.
Yeah. Well, listen, he would come here to take the shots. We don't have anybody who's demanding shots right now.
Yeah, but you just said that Matas is going to get 17 shots.
And Quentin getting the rest.
It's going to be the Quentin Grimes, Matas Buzelis show?
No, realistically, though, if Quentin Grimes lives around kind of where we expect him to be, probably around 10 shots per game. When he shot 10 shots per game, it's about 15 points a game off of the bench. Kobe White being your number one scorer or your point guard, maybe a number two scorer in that sense. With Quentin Grimes coming in, I would be fine with that. The pivot is that you don't feel that you can get a deal done with Giddey, basically meaning Giddey don't want to be here because the Chicago Bulls literally can offer him the most amount of money that anybody can.
And I want to be clear here. I'm not mad if they do, even if they do re-sign Giddey and bring in Quentin Grimes, because reportedly he's going to take a little bit less than mid-level exception money. I'm not mad taking a shot on a guy. I'm just saying that to get to the place where we're saying, boom, we got a Giddey replacement, Quentin Grimes, is like, how did we get here? Now, as far as just Grimes in the sense of a player that you can take a risk on, a calculated risk on, who finished the season last year strong, that you may want to see if something else is there, who's had flashes over the course of his NBA career, cool. But this, you know what this would be too? Remember we were trying to remember the other player that was in the Zach LaVine? It was RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes, and 3 first-round picks.
Yeah. Could have had him. You could have had him. You could have had him. You son of a. So, no, here's the one thing that I will say. Quentin Grimes, to me, because you look at a lot of players in the NBA and you go, okay, that was a flash. Quentin Grimes to me is real. First off, the defensive ability I think is there. He gives you a little bit of I don't want to say defensive upside, but he does give you a little bit of defense there. Every time Quentin Grimes gets more minutes and more shots, he scores. He scores more. Like it's not a fluke.
You know what? We've talked about that so much. Like, oh, when somebody takes more shots, they score more. You know what it is? That's more that P. Will PTSD. He's the only player that I think
takes more shots and shoots the same.
More shots. It's the same. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no matter what. No, legitimately. Second year in New York, Quentin Grimes played 29 minutes a game, got 8.5 shots a game, 11 points a game on 46% shooting. Went back down to 20 minutes a game, 7 points a game. Well, it just took 2 less shots. Okay, percentage is similar, but all right. What got to Dallas? Got to Dallas, 22 minutes a game, and he took 7 shots a game, scored 10 points. Got to Philly. He took 16 shots a game. He scored 21 points. Quentin Grimes is somebody who, if you give him the opportunity to do more, he actually can do more with it. And that's a player that I wouldn't mind having on my team. Now, would I rather have Quentin Grimes than Josh Giddey? That's a conversation that I think is maybe a little bit more interesting there. I think if you don't get this Giddey deal done, one, the Alex Caruso trade is bad, but two, maybe it is you choosing Kobe over Giddey and saying, listen, we know who we need to have as the number one guy, just finally give him the ball. But we've seen that scenario, and I don't think it was very different than what we saw.
Let me throw this different wrinkle in at you. If Quentin Grimes, who, like I said, reportedly, and I saw somebody in the comment section, he wants $20 million. I haven't seen that anywhere. I just did a quick Google search. I haven't seen that anywhere. If he is willing to sign for a mid-level exception, and would you be willing, is this something that if you could waive Javon Carter, sign Quentin Grimes to your mid-level, which you still would have room even after re-signing Giddey, is that then your Kobe White insurance in case you don't re-sign Kobe White?
Listen,
we look at this the reverse way.
If I can waive Javon Carter.
Well, we waive Javon Carter for Italian beef from Portillo's. Waiving Javon Carter isn't the point.
I can waive Javon Carter and re-sign Scottie Pippen today. I'm doing it, bro.
Would Scottie Pippen's job be to just look at the players all day, like just that face that you, just anytime they do something, just him just staring at them like that, like just looking at them like, what was that? That's his whole role on the team. What was that?
He has nothing to do. Torrey Craig and Andre
Will around and just looks at him like that the whole time. Just
Torrey Craig and Andre Drummond jump into each other. That's his whole job. For some reason, he also still has a microphone in front of him.
Oh man, that's hilarious, bro.
But no, like I think that it could be Kobe White insurance? Yeah, I mean honestly, yes. Like if you can get somebody in here cheaper and on a team-friendly deal, that when you give them, let's say you give him the shots that Kobe White got, give him the 15 shots a game.
And he's a pretty decent three-point. I didn't realize that Quentin Grimes is basically a 38%
he shoots the three ball like really well.
Career. So,
like those are the kind of players that you take a chance on. How old is he? 24?
25 years old. He just turned 25.
And Kobe's what?
26. So
your timeline isn't changing. Technically, you're getting a better defender. Now, I think Kobe White's a better scorer overall than Quentin Grimes is. Yes. I think Kobe White can get to the bucket a lot better. I'm not sitting here telling you that I'm all in on moving on from Kobe White. But if you want to talk about insurance or the possibility of having somebody on this team that kind of picks up that slack and adding scoring to the bench, I'm here for it. And I think Quentin Grimes checks all those boxes.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to pivot off Kevin Huerter immediately if that was the case, even if we did need to create a roster spot. So,
man, but a lineup of just straight shooters like that would be fire,
bro. Like you talk about a lineup of straight shooters like that,
Huerter, Grimes, and you have Matas, and
you have Matas there,
and who? I guess
heck, I could even. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad lineup as far as slashing. And hey, boys can dream. I doubt it's gonna happen though.
Quentin Grimes was random though.
It was random. It was just like, where did Quentin Grimes come up? But I will say this: as we now on day 4 or 5 of free agency, day 4 of free agency,
yeah,
is that as this keeps going on, players like Quentin Grimes who are out there, that does make them more likely. Like if you get to Sunday, if you get to after 4th of July, and Quentin Grimes is still there, if I'm the Bulls, I don't care. We'll worry about the fit. We'll worry about the balance later. I'm waiving Javon Carter. I'm putting in the mid-level exception sheet offer to Quentin Grimes, and you're gonna have to talk me down on that. Like,
yeah. So. No, listen, it's a good deal. There's no bottom out.
Exactly.
There is no miss on that deal. You know what I mean? It's literally just Would you like a better player than? I mean, there's a bunch of players you can waive. You can waive Julian. You can waive Dalen. He's a better player than all of them. Everybody on the back end of this bench, Quentin Grimes is a better player there.
Mm-hmm. So.
I mean, like, I could be convinced on. Well, I want Six to do something, but I don't know what he.
Bro, it's not. I don't know what
the needs
give us something. I just think that Billy Donovan always has that rent every year. Is that guy on the roster is just like, why isn't Billy playing this guy? Jalen is now that guy for Billy Donovan. It needs to be P. Will, but Jalen's that guy.
What makes it tough for me? God, dog. I looked up pictures of Scottie Pippen. I forgot he got that knot on his forehead. But you know what's tough for me is that with Jalen, why was there always ice on this man's thing? What was going on? No matter, he would not play in a game. He's icing them knees like he's 46. What's going on in them knees? Do we need to do a Lonzo situation here where we get a white man's knees for you? Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
That is a hell of a place to end the show. You guys can follow me at CEO Haize. Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, Fubo TV, basically anywhere you want us. You can get it. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning on time. Peace, y'all.
Peace. Well, Scotty had one of them May knots on his head. It may go down. It may not.
And at this point, it's been there for like 2 years. I don't think it's going to go down.
No, this was when he was playing. That may be the reason for the